Do me a favor, sit in for me for a sec, would you?
Anytime, man. Just throw my shit all over the place.
Great.
Drive you nuts.
Let's see you sitting up normal.
Oh.
This is gonna be you.
I'm over there in the comfy one.
How do you feel about your framing, dude?
Gorgeous. I should have had my wife here to do makeup.
Can we get her here?
She's at the house. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sink it on the fourth one, baby.
I never know.
Hey, do you have any agua?
Yeah.
I like these mics. You got a little banjo right here? That's tight. And you got your piano over there?
Every now and then, by the way, feel free to talk to the home audience into your camera.
Hey, everybody. How are you today? Twitter?
I'm sorry, Kyle.
Wonk Inc.
My water down there.
Oh, great.
Now,
You've
here's the
got
deal.
in front of my
Your
plug.
Coaster's a little far away, so
Right.
what I do is I offer the tray on the floor next to the guest.
Okay. Well, I'll probably just want to sit a little bit. And I can adjust this freely, right? It's all
As much as you
good.
like,
It's all chilling. We chilling right
water's
there.
I'm gonna go brush my teeth. Haven't done that yet.
Oh, man. So I'm just sitting here? Well. This thing is sick. Deck of the halls with pepperoni. That's amazing. Jesus. This is unreal.
Thanks, man. Almost all my cups are turtle cups.
You love the turtles?
I love the turtles. I love Chinese food. I'm obsessed with the turtles.
Yeah, baby. You know they're redoing it? You would be a great Donatello.
Do you have enough sway in this business to make me a turtle?
Well, I had a meeting about the turtles with the because the last two were Michael Bay. Now it's not. They're going the opposite way creatively. They're trying to go back to the
What we know.
the Henson puppets. Like go back to the Henson puppets with people inside of the costumes.
You know I'm a big puppet advocate, right? A BPA.
Oh yeah, don't you have a puppet?
Ooh.
Yeah, doggy.
Don't I have a puppet? Yes.
Oh, he is here, ladies and germs. Uh-oh.
Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey.
Hey, man.
Blabbity blue, scoop dee. Oh yeah.
All right, let's do a quick level check. How do you feel?
See?
What is C? Is that an industry thing?
No, that means yes in Spanish. I got something cracking with my headies.
Yeah, it's this fucking cable, man. But you know what they say? If you don't have a cable that cracks,
Which cable? Yeah.
I don't want to put them on blast. It's an expensive brand.
Mogami.
You said it, not me.
Yeah, I
That
got
thing
a
was
lot of
$70.
Mogamis. I know. It's probably this actually.
No, it's 100% this. I've been dealing with it for a bit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm positive.
So it could be your
I have
recorder there
maybe.
too.
I have another H6, so I'll.
That would be the tester.
Yeah.
Take the Mogami. We're not saying it's the Mogami, but
we're not saying it's not.
that's right. We haven't
Welcome
done
to
testing.
Take Your Shoes Off podcast, where we're not saying it's the Mogami, but we're not saying it's not. My name is Rick Glassman. Today's special guest is Kyle, and I've never said it right. Newacheck.
Newacheck. Kyle Newacheck.
What's the origins of that? That's California, right?
Yeah.
You from California?
I am, yes.
Right.
The name is from Czechoslovakia. Way back in the day.
Of course.
Then
No one's from Czechoslovakia anymore, I feel like.
No, there's no first gens out here, right?
No.
We came a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then it was Newacheck.
We
But
came
then-
a long time ago. Kind of sounds like what would be the beginning of a Star Wars pornography parody.
We came a long time ago. Right.
Yeah. Far,
Right.
far away in a galaxy we came a long time ago or whatever, you know.
Totally.
Fucking Star Wars nerds.
That would be cool.
I'm so excited for Turtles to come back.
Did you ever consider writing pornos?
I did consider, I had an idea once. It's just as a device. In that you take a regular movie, like whatever the movie may be, preferably like a rom-com, you know?
Yeah, okay.
And somewhere in the middle
Just
of
friends.
Yes. And somewhere in the middle of Act 2, there's a hardcore full penetration. You see everything for the sex scene.
One scene, just like
You could have one or two.
just don't hold back on the deets.
Yeah. The way that you are with the Michael Bay Turtles movie would not be happening in the They're Not Just Friends. You know?
right. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
What?
Have you considered? I find that when people ask a question,
The only time I think we ever really like considered it was when we were doing Workaholics, and it was like we have this office set in Van Nuys.
Right.
At night, we could commission someone to make a parody, a perfect parody, a perfect porno parody of Workaholics.
at PPPOW,
Yeah.
so
Pow.
you would have them like guys play Durs and Blake and Adam.
We considered it as a way to like pay for some of the excess spending that we wanted to do to make our episodes awesome. We considered like running a parody porno at night. We weren't going to be at all involved. We were going to get a company out to do it, but it was just to make money to supplement the budget of Workaholics.
What made you decide to not do that?
It's a lot of work. That's a major startup. And I think ethics. I think morals and ethics.
Are you
ultimately.
morally against pornography?
No. I just don't. Wow, great question.
We'll be right back with Pow.
No, I'm absolutely not.
So defensive now. Here, for those of you who aren't on YouTube, he is as far away from the mic as possible.
Yeah,
for some reason
exactly.
right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then what do you mean by ethics?
I don't know.
Do you not want to get into it? Seems like
What happened here?
I can't tell if you're playing uncomfortable, like you're you're. Man,
Ethics,
it's so much
morals,
better
what?
on YouTube than iTunes, huh?
Yeah,
you got to
oh,
be
yeah.
able to see the fun physical bits.
We're right here. The gestures are here. I don't know. I think I have a sound moral compass, but like, what is that really?
Yeah. Do you watch pornography, or did you used to
Yeah,
watch?
for sure.
Okay.
It's a business.
Right.
Yeah. It's something that has to be talked about, but for
But it has to be talked about.
dude, I mean, for 18 years, I was like in the Christian church trying to figure out what the fuck is going on,
Right.
you know?
What'd you figure out?
I think I got really confused, you know?
As a lot of kids who grow up in a religious, not even a religious, but with a lot of rules and customs.
Yeah, I
tend to
started like kind of thinking like, well, what about everybody else who's like in all the other religions that are there
Right.
to be good people too? Like, what about that?
How old
know?
were you when you started thinking about that?
I don't know, maybe like 11 or 12.
Okay, 11 or 12, around right before puberty.
Right.
You start thinking, okay, these are my rules. These are our rules. These are God's rules.
These are God's rules, really.
But I know other people that are cool that don't follow these rules. You recognize that as an 11-year-old?
I started thinking about that as an 11-year-old. Yeah. I started questioning it, which ultimately made me be like, well, what is this versus this versus this? But that was when I was in like film school and I started meeting people from all around the world. It was kind of like, what are you?
You went to film school out here, LA Film School, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody had different beliefs, like Catholic, whatever. I met like my first like real established gay person in film school, you know, which was like, and he had already had multiple boyfriends and all that. Like
Nice.
atheist, outspoken, like all these different cultures and creeds represented. And I remember being like, oh, okay. That's when I would just get like real drunk and philosophize and be like, none of this fucking makes sense. And it would just be like, this is all, what is this?
So where do you stand now with your religious values?
I think I'm just like, it's cool. It's all cool.
What are you raising your kids? Jewish?
No.
Say Jewish.
Dude, no. I mean, my grandpa was, and then he turned into an atheist. He was the first atheist I ever knew. And he had like, on his wall, he had all the Bibles, everything.
There are a lot of Bibles. I know there's
all
Gideon's
the spiritual
Bible.
books, all the guidances, you know, like the Quran and the
Oh, right. All the religious books.
Siddhartha, Buddhist. Like he had all of these different And I remember being like, asking my mom, why does he have all of those? We just have the Bible. And it's like, well, he's an atheist and he did his journey, tried to find the one that made sense to him.
Didn't find one.
Didn't find it. But he still has all the books on his wall.
Right.
He never took them down. So it's like,
I find books on the wall to be similar to DVDs, Blu-rays, and they're all trophies, accomplishments, things I've completed.
Or hints at character.
Well, that's of such a director's eye. But if this house is decorated for me and not the lens, which, by the way, for those of you watching at home, it clearly is, because I mean,
life is a TV show. Okay.
Let me talk to you about that for a second.
All
Do you
right.
believe that?
Oh yeah.
Go on.
Well, I mean, what do you mean now more than ever?
Why?
Because we are filming everything that we do. This is essentially me and you. I was just talking to Blake about this on the way down here.
Shout out to Blake Anderson.
Yeah,
whose handle is at something.
Uncle Blazer.
I don't. Oh yeah,
Uncle. This is just us having a. I'm just coming down to see my friend Rick.
Boom.
And I'm giving myself to being filmed.
Yeah.
Because that's what the Gen Pop demands.
So I think of it a little bit differently than you.
Or, okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
I'll remember. What were you going to say?
I was just talking about life is a TV show. You film it. Everybody films it. Everybody shares their stories. Everybody's putting on makeup. Everybody's finding out what angle looks the best for them on their own selfie.
Sure.
You're expected to put all this data out there that was only expected by studios in years before. And now, if you're trying to do it, like I'm a first generation YouTuber.
Second generation Czechoslovakia.
That's right. But first generation YouTube when it first came out. And that's
Same.
like how we were grinding on it and then made it up in it. And then it's like since then, in the last 15 years, all these kids are their own studios. They're their own fucking studios.
Right.
And you right now are your own studio.
So you're saying life's a TV show because everyone's documenting everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I'd love to play my song "Life Is a TV Show" by Fade Up, Fade Out, Bye Bye.
Do you have
now? You can cut to it later.
Well, what I like to do,
I like to play a little bit of the video.
Yeah, what
Let's
I like.
play a little bit of the
Could
video.
I pull it up now?
You could put it up. You could cut to it.
Okay.
Oh, but you haven't seen it.
Yeah. All right. All right. There's two ways of doing this. There's two ways of doing this. There's actually playing it live, and then I'll put a picture in so we could watch it on there.
Right.
Or we could cut to. You know what? Why don't we just?
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Or the other way of doing it is like this. Why don't we actually? You know what? Why don't we just cut to it?
Are you looking for a little more?
When did you make this? This was dope.
Bro, you haven't even seen it yet.
Oh no, but that's what I was trying to do. Like if we cut to it.
I know.
Oh,
I just am a truth teller.
love that, man.
Yeah.
Before
But
you can be a
it's dope.
storyteller, you
It
have
is-
to be a truth teller.
It's super dope.
Well, can I pull it up?
If you want,
Or do you want me to cut to it?
cut to it?
All right.
Well, come on, knock on my door. Life is a TV show. I think you already know. It's all so simple.
I'm so excited to watch this, man. Now
Yes.
that we're back.
Yes.
It seems like it went well.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good.
I'm
That's
gonna
what-
play. I'm
that's
gonna
what it
play this.
sounds
I'm gonna play the stand-up clip now that we just played the music video.
Oh my fuck.
So, I don't know if you remember this, but
This is the way to do it, by the way.
yeah, that's why I want to pull up your music
Yeah,
video.
this is, and you got to pull up your stand-up clip.
Yeah, I'm doing that. I already have it.
This is
like,
the way
loaded.
to do it for sure, bro.
All right. So, is there any setup I need to do? I mean, we knew each. Did I meet? I think
Is this
I
for
met
house
you there.
party?
Yeah,
For
I
house
think
party?
I met you at house party, right?
Yeah. I had no idea really. I had seen clips because
I only knew Adam.
Scotty and Adam would send me clips of who was like going to be coming out, so I
Right.
could see who was doing what when we were doing the scenes and stuff. And yeah, I didn't really know what to expect because I don't think in the clip I saw you did the same joke that you did in New Orleans. I think it was two separate, like you did a more standardized stand up. And
Yeah,
then
I
in New
needed
Orleans,
to get in.
and then in New Orleans, you like flipped the script and
Yeah.
did all of a sudden like this. You came out and did this anti stand up. That's how I describe it to people as being like the most perfected stand up while also doing anti stand up because it was just built on almost musicality, for me at least, I interpreted it as like, this is how a stand-up set sounds, and this is why you're supposed to laugh. But I'm not saying anything that means anything, right?
Yeah.
And people would laugh in that moment. You had the ability by just sonically emulating what a joke is without actually connecting it in a conventional fashion. And I was sitting in the back, like, I fucking got out of my seat and I was just like, what is going on right now? Like it was just so vibrant and like,
That's so nice. I never heard you say that. That makes me feel real good.
that's why I came here today,
Hell yeah.
Well,
I couldn't do this to get in for the Comedy Central showcase because I know they wouldn't have okayed it because this is the type of stand-up I do and nobody likes me. So I don't mean I'm being self-deprecating, but like it doesn't get me to the next level ever. So I have, this was when because I had auditioned
This
for
is
things
the kind of-
before. This is when I learned how, before that I have to go up and just, you talk about your sister. I don't even have a sister, but like you just got to like do like that stuff for a little bit.
yeah, this is the kind of behavior that keeps you down. But legendary. Cut to the clip. Oh, I'm excited.
It reminds me of this joke, which I don't remember.
Yes, fuck.
So I apologize. I'm going to try it. Bear with me. My father
Look at you.
told it to me, and if you don't like it, it's his words, not mine. But a guy walks into a doctor's office, and he's a black guy. And he walks into a doctor's office, and the Jew doctor says, again, if you're offended, it's my
Yep.
father's words, but this Jew bag doctor said, hold on. He says, I got good news and I got bad news. Now, black guys, no offense, but they're like, what's the good news? So this doctor says, well, hold on a second, black guy. But he says it more like, I have curly hair because I am Borat, and, Jewish stuff, like, because of stereotypes. And then the black guy said, well, why did you say that? And he's like, it's your first time here. I'm just telling you a doctor's office joke, and you're stepping on my timing. So in typical black guy fashion, he's like, what's the joke? And then the Jew says, you stepped on my timing, and this goes on for a while. Meanwhile, in the other room is this nurse, a blonde nurse. But no offense, but blondes are dumb as shit because they're paying their way through college by stripping. Because they like to have sex with guys and stuff. So anyway, this blonde nurse is checking the blood pressure of a Chinaman. Now, I could have said Chinese man, but it's an old racist joke. And you know what they say about the Chinese? They got mushy dicks, or whatever, I don't know. But the point is, you got the Mexicans, they're gay, and the gays, they're taking all of her jobs. And the Mexicans want to marry other Mexicans, which I'm not for. Sorry.
Still
If you're
relevant
Mexican,
today.
it's a choice. All right? And if you don't want to be Mexican, hey, this just in. Start having sex with girls. It's an easy fix. So, anyway, blah, blah, blah. It turns out that the bad news was that this black guy had strep throat, but the good news was that the insurance covered it.
Bro.
There it is, man. There is my first TV taping.
Wait, but you didn't go till the very end.
The stuff before and after that were Comedy Central didn't give me the clip of. That's the only clip that they posted on their site.
Oh, you didn't get like the
I didn't
raw?
get the full raw thing. No.
Because we cut that down. I remember personally cutting that down because there was a little bit more in there.
Yeah.
But because you were like, anyways, we were able to kind of like,
Yeah.
because we just had to do it for time, I remember.
I remember watching, it was my first TV taping and watching the edit and seeing things, like I wanted to make sure certain things got in and
I kind of feel like we might have talked personally about that or something.
yeah, I talked to you through Adam first.
Right.
I said, listen, there's a couple of things because there's a couple of balls that I threw up in the air at the beginning that were okay jokes, but the point of them were for the end.
Right.
And if you don't keep it in at the end, don't even bother at the beginning. I think one of them didn't make it. Like there was this one bit that I did where I turned to the camera and I yelled, "Live from New York, it's Saturday night," as if everything I just said was a bit. And I remember that didn't make it. They wanted that in there.
You also, I can't remember if that's in it or not because you cut it, you clipped it. But do you walk off flipping off or come out flipping it off?
I didn't get that in the thing. I remember, I dropped the mic.
I feel like you did.
I dropped the mic at a moment that wasn't a drop the mic moment. Like it was a big, look what he just said and did. And and I flicked everyone off for probably 40 seconds.
I think did you come back out? Did you
Yes.
get to do like a second take of it at the end?
Yeah.
Like the second half or something.
Yeah. So what I remember
Which is
that,
crazy, by the way. I don't know how you pick up in the middle of a set, but I'm just like,
well, because I recognize that if you're going to use this, but you're not going to use the part before it, it's not possible. Mm-hmm. So I wanted you to have a transition from the previous joke to the flipping off. So I came back out and I just said, "Hey, everybody, just applaud like fucking mental. Like you just heard the greatest joke ever." And then they did that. And then I just did this to allow you to come in on an applaud edit. I don't remember if you used that or not.
I can't remember either where that landed, but it was cool in the moment. I was there
Probably
when we were
landed
filming
horribly.
it. Dude, the fucking moment was so sick. We were in a bar in New Orleans.
That was fun.
Everybody was ready to rock, dude.
Yeah.
What was your storyline? Do you remember? I can't remember what you were you like did you have a red jacket? Were you that group?
I don't remember, dude.
What was your fucking story, bro? You had to do some acting too, right?
Yeah, there was a sketch and we were in a living room and Adam was doing something goofy.
Yeah.
There was a little person.
No, not in oh, right. Okay, I kind of remember there was something. What the fuck was the story? Did he have twins?
Nobody knows, dude.
Did he have twins? He
I
was
don't
like
know.
came in with his shirt on, shirt off and stuff, and he's like, "I'm not a twin." And then
I don't know.
yeah, those things were fucking like, they just
They were
kinda
fun, but I don't know. They're gone now, man.
fleeting.
Life is a TV show. Things happen. You know, Maya Angelou once said that, and I'm paraphrasing here,
Right.
but we don't remember what people
Right.
say to us or what they do. We only remember how they make us feel. And I remember I had a great time on that show.
Yep.
I remember that I was proud that I had this Bible, this DVD, this trophy on my wall of an accomplishment that was a television taping. I was in New Orleans on vacationing with other really funny people, some of which I knew, and it was cool to see them do it. Some of them I had just met for the first time.
Yep.
We became friends.
Yep.
So I don't remember how many dwarfs there were, but I know that Maya Angelou is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. She is.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah. But I want to get into a little bit of your comeuppance because you started kind of the same way I did, but then you kept moving forward.
Right.
You started and was trained as an editor, not a director, not a writer, not an actor.
Well, when I went to film school, so yeah, I mean, I was making stuff with my buddies back home in the Bay Area, and I was shooting and kind of editing.
You were friends with Blake from back there.
Yeah, yeah, and then we had a group of like 5 or 6 other guys that we were making like just cool sketches with, you know, where we'd fucking put on a costume and invent a character and go for it, you know. And then, yeah, so I was doing everything. My dad built a little soundproof room in our garage. And
How do you do that? Just like putting up foam and stuff?
he put like a room within a room. So it was like we could play drums in there and we could play bass and we could do all that. It was like a music room at first. And then me and my brother we would just record our friends playing music, and then we got into video. And then it was like, oh,
How old
shit.
are you at this point?
I'm probably
22?
like, no, I'm probably like 13 or 14.
Oh, you were making videos at 13 and 14?
Yeah, yeah.
With what? Mini DV cameras? Was that around yet?
Oh,
or was
yeah,
it VHS?
dude. Mini DV VHS was my first camcorder.
So you were making music videos.
Yeah, we were recording music onto like 4 tracks and playing with instruments and sounds and stuff. And we were also playing with video cameras and shots and editing and what that means. So the very fundamentals of that were happening when I was about like 13 or 14.
And how do you edit? What is there to edit when you're 13?
What do you mean?
What's 13? Mid 90s, 95 maybe for you? I don't want to date you here.
Jesus, 84. I was born in 1984.
Oh, okay.
So
94,
97, yeah.
So what's around to edit at 97?
Well, I'm making stuff, you know? I'm shooting cool, like, character pieces with my buddies.
I'm saying,
like,
what software could you use to edit? If I remember the way I did it first, I would have to record and stop and then record the next scene.
Yes, correct. That's how that's the first way that I started cutting. Was like boom, boom.
Yeah, like one take,
boom,
not you got to rewind.
wide. Yeah. Yeah. The take's cool. Okay, cool. Let's
Yeah.
stop it right there. Shoot, say your line. Got it. Beautiful.
Kind of like how Vine was.
Yeah, let's rewind the whole tape and watch it back.
Yeah.
A bunch of 6-second increments.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. And then I moved on to Pinnacle Studios, like 2.0 Pinnacle Systems, and they're the guys who made Sony Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
But one of their first prosumer software was Pinnacle Systems that was like $30 at Fry's, you know? So we had that. And it came with like these cool things called like Smart Sounds too, where it would like play cool ass like news music and stuff. So we could like paint the picture under anything we did. And it was very, very, very cool. And I always wanted to do that, you know?
Did you know that it was going to be comedy?
Yeah, because we loved making each other laugh. Like that was super fun. But I've always had respect for every other, you know, genre of film. It's like I just happen to be okay with going in and having a blast and saying dumb shit. You know what I mean?
So you're 13, you're in your studio within a garage, you're making music videos and silly videos.
Yeah, yeah.
5 years later, you graduate high school, you go to LA Film School to get a degree in editing.
Yeah, yeah. And I ended up, because I wanted to do editing really bad, because I figured that was like a technical skill that I would need when I got out to get a job.
What was the dream that you had when you were going to school?
When I was going to school, I had to do this thing. I got to go to the ACE union, the American Cinema Editors, that union thing, and they had me do, it's like an internship, and they had me do a 10-year program. And I remember at that point, my 10-year goal was to edit a feature. That was like what I wanted to do in 10 years. And that was, yeah, that was it, you know? Mm-hmm. And then I was like, I always loved writing. And I think at a certain point, I mean, I had to make money. So I was like editing some things, and then I was gripping and doing all that, like working on sets and stuff. So I was good at that. But at a certain point, I was like, man, I can do this. I can make stuff. And we saw people like Lonely Island starting to come up, and like.
That was the first sketch group I found.
Yeah.
Right when YouTube came out. A little before YouTube, but then on YouTube.
They were how
I
we
loved
found
them.
out about YouTube.
Same.
Like it was like, what is this? What is Stork Patrol on right now? What's that logo? That says YouTube. What the fuck is YouTube? And then you go over there and you're like, oh shit, you can do this for free if you put an account in.
Yeah, it was, I think 2004.
Yeah.
Maybe 2005 at the latest, but I remember if that was unbelievable. Because I was making videos. I was making videos like whenever we had college I went to business school, and we had to do projects sometimes. And all the projects, when we got to decide what it was a business, if it was an advertising, whatever it was, I always made videos for it. And it was either a direct mail piece or a presentation that I would talk to class, and instead of doing it there, I'd have the video. And then I found YouTube, and I put on I put all my school projects on it just because now I could send it to my family to have them watch it. That was like there was no Vimeo or ways of sending it to them.
No, yeah. I had my own server that I was hosting my own personal website that was like hire this key grip or whatever. Like, it was something like I was trying to make a name as like a key grip and an editor at the same time.
A lot of technical stuff for a guy that literally and metaphorically is tie-dye, you know?
I love it, dude. I still try and stay sharp on all that stuff because those skills, I love being like on a movie big, you know, and like walking into where they're rigging a car and like twist a knob or something, but not like shake it up. You know what I mean? Like, okay, it ain't going nowhere. And they're like, who the fuck are you? Like, IMDb me, bro. I got more key gripping credits than I do directing credits.
When you came over a few months ago, if that, because I'm making this basketball short, and you were helping me to take a look at the edit, and I brought my hard drive to your office and there was some syncing problems, so we came back here.
Yeah.
And I showed you, I have just my hard drives kind of stacked up and my 2 monitors. And I remember I said, I just love this. I feel, and you interrupted me, like, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I love that working, huge movies you're doing now, and you still know what it's like just to have like your nice little tech equipment. This is my little corner.
Oh yeah.
I've always loved equipment, man. I have so much equipment.
Oh, dude, me and my bro, same thing. Because like our grandfather who just passed was like a hobby. He had all the gear. He was like a hobbyist when it came to video and film at that point.
Is this
like
the atheist?
No, this is the other guy. This guy's hardcore Christian. I used to go to his church
Okay.
that he built. But he was like a camera guy.
Czechoslovakians, man.
Yeah, he was a camera guy, like a hobbyist camera guy and a hobbyist computer guy. Like, and he was actually like a nuclear physicist was his day job, and like an engineer and all that stuff. So he was high up there when it came to like mathematics and stuff like that. So his hobbies were cameras.
So cool.
Yeah, it was like photography, videography, and computers, which at that point they were unrelated. It was completely different crafts. It was like photography is this, computers are just like data entry and stuff. We had not made the jump. So he was all into it, and then like my dad was all into it too. So he had some gadgets and gizmos and gear and all that. He was more of a tool man. My dad's more of a Tim the Tool Man Taylor.
Dude, when you said gadgets and gizmos, I was thinking Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
And then when you said the Tool Man, I was thinking everything you're saying is making me, and then you called it out so I could rewind and say, gadgets and gizmos aplenty, man. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, exactly. And then like my dad was a tool man. And so then me and my bro grew up under that kind of male role model, and all of a sudden cameras, computers become one, and we're like, that's cool with us, let's roll with it, and everybody else down here in Hollywood, people were shaking. They're like, what the fuck is going on? What's happening? You know what I mean? Some people were embracing it, a lot of people were fighting it, and that's about the time I started coming down here to go to film school.
Because things could take their jobs away?
Purist, like just purist stuff.
Right, like you have to be shot on film and stuff like that.
Yeah, like that. I remember in like 2004, that was 2002, 3, 4, that was like the height of like what's going on. Like Lucas just shot Star Wars digitally, and he's a Bay Area dude, like, and I was like, I think that we just happened to be down here at a time and and evolving with technology enough and have the right amount of whatever beforehand, like, guidance from our forefathers. And it was like, cool, man. And now we just have like his garage is filled with gear. He fucking runs a whole mini studio, like a mini rental place where he just rents cameras via share grid. And that's so much gear. And I got the place out in Calabasas. It's just like the Wonk Studios, and it's too much gear, man.
Shout out to Wonk Inc.
Yeah, shout out to Wonk, baby.
So you graduate editing school, film school, and you're friends with Blake. And I know
Friends with
some of
Blake,
this
yeah.
story, but I'd love to hear the origins of mail order comedy, which ultimately becomes Workaholics.
Yeah, man. I mean, mail order comedy was, let's see here. So Blake and I always were doing videos. We moved down to Orange County together, met, and then at that point, like I was working full time for Vans Shoes, kind of going to school, but partying
What were
a
you
lot.
doing for Vans shoes?
I was a shoe salesman.
Love it.
Yeah, it was like
B2B or like in the stores?
in the stores. Yeah, just chilling.
Cool, man.
Like skateboarding and selling shoes and stuff, and like kind of going to school.
Do you have a hookup where you could get a sponsor for Take Your Shoes Off? Maybe we could change it to Take Your Vans Off?
That'd be great. I've always loved Vans, and I hope that Vans is listening right now. Because my boy Rick deserves a sponsorship, and I think Vans is the perfect outlet for this guy. He's a diehard skater.
Yeah, no, I'm really more looking to get into bed with Bombas, because with your shoes are off, you only see the socks.
Yeah,
so
right,
I'm trying to get some custom socks. So
Well, this is a question I have. We can get back to what we were, but I don't know if you've seen this. But do you see what I'm wearing right now?
free Carl. Oh, those are cool.
Now, I love them. I think it's tight. It's my own face
Yeah.
on my own socks.
Yeah, that's great.
Is that okay to do?
Yeah. The only problem I have with those socks are those don't look like comfortable socks. They look like fine socks.
They're fine.
Yeah.
Wait, what the fuck?
I'm not sacrificing comedy for comfort ever. I'm wearing sweatpants. I'm wearing gray tees. I'm trying to be comfy.
Well, that might be part of that whole behavior thing I was talking about earlier that you might need to work on. That's
I don't know.
what just happened.
I just burped a little. I'm a comfortable dude. You work with Sandler. Brent Morin always says that I'm like Sandler. Not that I'm talented, just that I dress like a slob.
We're about to do the red carpet, and I was kind of like looking up Sandler on the red carpet
Yeah.
last night, and
He's just comfy.
the dude has shown up in some fits.
Because when you're comfortable, you exude comfort. And what makes people more comfortable than seeing somebody comfortable?
Yes.
I mean, I could get more spiritual with this and talk about the release of control and
100%,
boundaries.
100% agree with you here. And I don't know that I have, to my own defense in the statement about my socks, how uncomfortable they appear.
Right?
I don't know that I have one pair of comfortable socks.
Well, we're going to have to get you.
I'm just saying, like, I was kind of going through my arsenal thinking, like, wow, that hit hard. Like, and I'm going through the sock drawer in my mind, and I can't believe it, but I don't have any comfy socks. They're all old.
Check this out, dude. Shout out. Now, we are not sponsored yet, but I love Bombas socks.
Those are huge.
We got the same size foot, 13, dude.
Bro, you trying to float me one?
Trying to. You know what? The only thing I try to do is complete what I'm going to do. All right? And that's give you a pair of those Bombas. I'm going to need those back at the end of the podcast.
Copy you.
No, I'm just kidding. Those are you, dude. Those are comfy socks. You put on comfy socks, you start with the feet, you work your way up. Comfy underpants, comfy shorts or sweatpants or a pair of pants that breathe, a comfy t-shirt. And if you're wearing a second layer, it better be for warmth. If not, it's got to be blanket material. You have yourself a comfortable day.
What's up with talk to me about the band in the middle?
Sure. So Bombas, if you take a look at the symbol, it's a bee. They love bees. I don't know if they love bees as a mission because of them wanting to pollinate the world, or if they also, but I think it's more about the network that they do with their hives and how they all work together. And what Bombas does is when every pair of Bombas socks you buy, they give a pair to like a poor dwarf or something somewhere.
What?
Yeah. So every pair of socks that you buy, they give a pair to somebody who needs it. And they feel that that's all us working together like bees in a hive.
Oh, yeah. They work really well together.
Yeah. Much like from what I hear, people on your sets seem to love working with you because you've been a grip to the director. It's kind of like if you're going to manage a kitchen, if you're going to run a restaurant, you better first have been a host, a waiter, a bartender, a line chef. You know, you got to know how to do all the roles.
That's super real, man. That's super real. Like, again, talking about role models, like when I was coming up in the industry, I would always have conversation with my pops, and my dad helped run he was a vice president of a construction company up in the Bay Area, and he would, I was like gripping and doing that stuff, but I think everybody knew I wanted to be a filmmaker. You know what I mean? Like, I might have not even been saying that I wanted to be a director, but everybody knew that I was supposed to be a director.
What do you mean everybody knew? Your family?
Like my family, like my mom and dad knew that I was directing, and that's what I wanted, but I wasn't saying it because I didn't think I was ever going to be possible, really, in the realist sense of Hollywood.
So you weren't saying it because, like, you were embarrassed that you wouldn't be able to do it? I don't understand. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the whole, so anyways, we can get into that. That's a good shit. But like my dad would always, when I was gripping, he would liken it to when he was like breaking up concrete and be like, that tool has served me well, knowing and what every person on the job site is responsible for. And every person is what their job is supposed to be, the expectations. And if they are saying they can't do it, you can step in and say, yeah, we can, yes, we can. And so that was also very helpful, in coming up doing that. Yeah.
So we were on track for talking about the comeuppings of mail order, but before then, you said we could get back to the shame or the embarrassment that you carried for not wanting to publicly announce your dreams or goals.
It wasn't like shame or embarrassment at all. It was, be careful with this one because this is the dream. You know, don't just say I want to be a director. Understand that, you know, there's a reason that there should be a reason that the director's name is first there. I'm sure everything's going to that entity. But like understand that
Queen Bee.
It's a big responsibility. You know, yeah, Beyonce.
Well, I meant as far as the Hive is concerned.
Right.
The director is the Queen Bee,
Oh,
at least on film.
Beyonce. But Beyonce is directing some of her videos, so now she does know what it's like to be the real Queen Bee of the film set now, doesn't she?
We'll be right back. Take Your Shoes Off podcast. I've always messed it up, man. It's sponsored by...
It's your own podcast. It's your own podcast.
It's sponsored by Bomba Socks.
Bro, get at them, Bombas. That'd be sick, dude. I hope you get a sponsor. That's how the world works now.
Everything's a TV show,
Dude, yeah.
I want to get some calf to mid socks and get the Take Your Shoes Off logo on them and sell them for $40 so I can cover my cost.
Genius.
They're gonna be so expensive for me to make, dude. Also, there's no way I'm making 10 G's of them, so I'm gonna make 100 of them. They're probably gonna cost me $20 a pair. You know, I'm gonna have to sell them for $35 just to make my nut. But anyway,
cover that nut.
But please go on.
I was in Orange County, working at Vans. Blake was doing the theater program. I wanted to do the film program. I couldn't get into it because it was very popular at Orange Coast Community College. Blake kind of links up with Adam and his friend Austin.
Adam's in Orange County at this point?
Yeah, Adam had moved to Orange County from Nebraska the same year as us, same summer.
Shout out to Anna Devine, whose handle I believe is
Andy
Bovine.
Andy Bovine.
Uncle Andy Bovine.
No, not Uncle. Just Andy Bovine. Okay. @ Andy B. Ovine.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's when I first met Adam because they were in an improv class together.
Where I met Adam, by the way.
At an improv
At
class?
an Upright Citizens Brigade Level 2 class in Hollywood. But
You did?
yeah, but I'll stop at the stop sign. You go ahead.
Well, I mean, that's a far cry from where I'm at in my timeline.
Big time.
That's
I'm
like-
at a stop sign in Hollywood. You're still down in Orange County.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
please continue.
So I
Drive north.
my mom ends up saying, like, why don't you go to film school? Like, why don't you do it? Just,
This is after you went to film school or before?
no, this is before film school.
Okay, so this is 18.
18.
Gotcha.
18 years old. I went to film school when I was 18 years
Right.
old.
So at 18, I'm sorry, I had my timeline messed up. So at 18, you don't get into OCC.
Yeah.
Blake is there.
Blake's there, and he met Divine. And
Right,
we were all
right.
hanging
Yeah,
out
yeah.
and kind of shooting some things, talking about videos. Divine had done videos with his homie back in Nebraska, and that's what they came out here to do. And so we were just kind of like partying together, talking about how like we want to make videos and stuff. What are we going to make? And trying to get that inspiration going and whatnot. And then I ended up moving up to Hollywood, like feeling it and being like, okay, I should go to Hollywood off the suggestion of my mom, who was like, you should do it.
What's your handle?
At Mama Ella.
ELLA?
ELA.
Okay.
Yeah. She was like, go ahead, you should go to film school. So we found the LA Film School that was only a 1-year program. And I was like, this is perfect. I only want to go to school for a year.
Sure. Who doesn't?
I don't want to go to fucking 4 years college. I don't want to do that. Like, that's not for me. I'd rather get grinding and do what I'm going to do if I'm going to do it.
Okay.
So went to film school for a year, learned Avid, learned how to edit, at least the technical elements, learned how to work a camera, learned how to push a dolly, learned how to build a set, learned all of the crafts. I got my mind spinning on all the crafts that is the film industry. It's just like, oh my God. Then, and Divine used to come up to my apartment and do stand-up in the same time. As I was going to film school, I would give him the keys to my apartment. I'd go stay with my girlfriend up in Hollywood, and he'd stay in like this cockroach-infested little studio apartment and go hit the clubs.
This is who you're married to now, right?
No.
Oh, I thought you've been. Oh, that's Durs. Durs has been with the same girl for forever.
Yeah, right. I've known my wife since we were 11 years old, but we did not date until we were 25 or 26.
Okay.
That's trippy, but you know,
That's cool.
yeah. So Divine was doing that, and Blake was trying to go to school still. Then after I graduated film school, Divine was like, I'm going to come up to Hollywood. And it was like, all right, let's combine forces.
So you're 19 now.
19 years old. He's going to make the move up to Hollywood with my best friend at the time, Teddy.
So it's 2003, right
Teddy
when computers
Spencer.
and photography are becoming one.
Right.
You guys are in Hollywood now. You, Teddy Spence, shout out to Teddy Spence, whose handle is...
At Tads. At Tads 3, something like that.
and
I'll give you the real one.
all right, well, we'll put it up on YouTube.
Yeah, we got to. We got to shout him out.
And it's go time. So I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, so then it's go time. I mean, of course, that's when the hustle time happened, when I was like working as a grip and working as a gaffer and doing all things.
What kind of jobs are you working on?
Like independent, like horror films or like little commercials or like public service announcements and stuff.
All right, smaller stuff.
Very small stuff. Really, really small
So
stuff.
you probably had a
Like,
lot of job. Like you probably, if you were a gaffer, you probably were doing other things too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like wearing mini hats.
Yeah.
Yes, and getting paid $100 a day.
Right.
Or like $150 a day or something
If
like
it's- if
that.
the day
that's
goes
a great
16
gig,
hours.
$150 a day was dope. And 16 hours. Yeah,
Yeah.
easily.
When I first moved out here, I was doing background work. It's where I met John DeWalt.
Oh,
and that
cool.
was 16-hour days of making 64 when you're non-union.
It's
And
incredible.
then 128 once you're union.
Like Bernie Sanders, come on out to Hollywood, have a field day, bro, because there are some real shitty wage things happening out here. 'Cause
You're
it's
poor
like-
until you could buy a house.
Yeah, you have to be passionate.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be very passionate.
I want to talk about that a little bit too along your journey. Like, because the first episode of this, I had my best friend John DeWalt on, and we talked about how when you commit to this, you kind of understand that you're literally gambling your 20s away, but you don't recognize really what that means until later on. Meaning that if at 32, 33, 34, you don't have sustainable work, what do you do now? Where do we go now? You know, you have 1 year of film school. You know, what do you do if you can't do this business?
Yeah.
And
I mean, I was a little bit younger. I got out of film school at 19. I got pushed into it early, but and then in my 20s, like it started to pop.
yeah, you guys,
We got it
are,
early.
Are one in a million.
1 in a million, like real crazy success story. Like, and I've now grown to understand that.
Yeah.
You know, like crazy.
Yeah.
But
I met Divine when you guys sold the show before you filmed the pilot, and
wow. Yeah.
and he wasn't sure what was happening. And then I remember when he found out that it got picked up, and people treat it's. I mean, there's transparency in how superficial it is, and because we
like-
all want to be around, we all want to work, I guess. But I remember seeing him at the Improv. Like we were just in the bar area.
Yeah.
And it was just like it always is with all the people that I know. We're just kicking it. And then the day after it got picked up, before you guys even you shot it, but before anyone knew what it was.
It must have gotten into like we did the season, like we got the season from Comedy Central.
Yes.
That might have been the milestone.
Yes, it was once there's going to be a Workaholics show before
Yeah.
anyone knew what it was.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get to sell a show, let alone to shoot the pilot, let alone for them to pick it up, let alone for it to last more than one season, let alone for it to be okay.
Right,
It's
yeah.
a hard thing, but just the fact that he's going to Comedy Central now, I just remember watching people talk to him in a way that maybe I just didn't see it before, but it was my first conscious realization of, oh, these people know he's on a show now and it wasn't even fake necessarily. It was just like, it's like, remember when it was someone's birthday and you want to sit next to them at the bowling alley because it's their birthday?
Sure,
And
yeah.
you know all the attention's on them.
Yeah.
So
you
it's
got
like,
him the dope gift. And
yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
Oh,
This
open
one was
mine
like,
first.
It was kind of like, it was Adam's birthday and people wanted to give him the gift,
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, I didn't think ew necessarily, but I did think like, is this what you have to do to have? Because it was always hard for me to have friends. So I'm thinking, do I get on a show to get, is that what I need to do? So I'm like, I got to get on a show for some friends.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how to fix you.
Man, I was just doing comedy self-deprecation, and you just cut me to the core, dude.
Yeah, you know it, buddy. I'm in. I'm into that.
So, Adam is staying in a Roach motel.
Now we move in together. So after film school, we move in together with Teddy Spence.
Okay.
At Tad's.
So it's the three you.
And then another chick that's paying half of our rent because she gets her rent paid by her dad.
Dude, awesome.
So that's how we stayed. That's how we stayed
So
afloat.
three of you were splitting half the rent.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I actually had like an Avid machine in my room. Like I was still editing and stuff. I had bought it with my student loan, and so that's
It was expensive back then.
Oh, dude, it was like 8 G's.
Yeah, I'm working with the entire Premiere suite and with a college ID, which I still use my college ID.
Yeah,
$20 a month, dude.
Yeah. Premiere's off the charts. They rock. They started in the game, and now they're ending it strong, man. Prosumer, Revolution, Adobe Premiere, baby, sponsor them.
Yeah, shout out to Adobe Premiere and Bombas, man. I don't know if I'm wearing. I don't know if I use anything more than my Bombas socks and Premiere.
Also, Premiere, I would be willing to have a sponsorship too. So if anyway, you see this and you think,
could you do a 30-second spot real quick, 2 commercial, promoting, say, what's up, my name's Kyle Newacheck, list 1 or 2 credits, and then talk about how great Premiere is? Could we
sure.
do 2 camera?
Yeah. What's up? I'm Kyle Newacheck, director of Workaholics, Game Over Man, and the upcoming murder mystery. I just want to take the time real quick to shout out Adobe Premiere and the Creative Cloud in general, because
That's good.
Come on, man, I was in it.
I'm sorry, it's good. Good. Tighten it. Go. Just a little tighter.
I want to take the time to shout out Adobe Premiere and the Creative Cloud in general, because they really have simplified my editing needs, and I still actually get on the computer and hit the 1s and 2s. So it's good to have a program so robust as Final Cut.
That was so real.
Premiere.
Game Over Man. Not Game Over Man. Murder and Mystery will be out on Netflix June 7th with Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler.
June 14th.
I'm saying June 7th is like set your week countdown.
Yeah.
Because one week later, Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston on a boat, dude. Getting
Luke Evans, Gemma Arterton, Adil Akhtar, Terrence Stamp, John Connie, Dari Olafson.
what's
Sholi Katsuna.
what's the girl who plays an actress? What's her name?
Gemma.
Is she what's her deal?
Gemma Arterton?
Yeah.
She's the best.
Is she in LA?
I think she frequents LA, but she's a Brit.
Is she single?
No, I think pretty sure she has a boyfriend.
Great. Good, because she deserves one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I met him and he came out to Italy.
So I saw that
for a little bit.
So I went to a screening of Murder Mystery.
No spoilers.
Of course not.
Okay. None.
I'm catching myself being defensive in that because of how much that bothers me, but you don't know that, and I do what you do, and it's almost like if you were in the passenger seat and you said there's a cop to the right and I saw them, I'm not going to be like I saw them. I'm going to be like, oh, thanks, because always tell me.
That's not a personal stab.
No,
it's
I
just
know.
Blanket insurance.
I'm just checking in with myself and realizing, yes, of course, say that. However, I know. I have certain friends that when they text me, if I haven't watched Game of Thrones yet or finished whatever game is that night, I don't even open it just in case, because they'll just say...
Because they will be like, how about this? How about this?
You know
How
what I
about
do?
this?
I say, did you watch this yet? That's what I'll say first.
Yeah.
And if they say no, great. Anyway.
Good call.
So I go to it, and it's at the ArcLight Sherman Oaks, which is near me, which is just... it's just so everything about the setup.
Wait, how did you find out about it?
Durs, did the podcast with Durs, which I don't know if I could post because I had some technical issues. I told you one of the things went out once. That was on his episode, so I might have to have him back on. It was Durs' idea to take your shoes off socks.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he's here with me and telling me that what he's doing that night, and he's going to see your movie, which ultimately he. As Hollywood will, he didn't show.
No, he didn't.
He didn't show.
He didn't show.
But I want to explain.
But I did invite him. I wanted him to see it. I wanted everybody to see that, or wanted people to come to that because that was the last time we were previewing it. So I wanted just critical thinkers in the room to hit me with the critical thoughts.
Yeah, HYTTCTs.
Yep.
So he said he's going. So I, on the podcast, text you, be like, yo. And you're like, yeah, great, come. So it's walking distance from my place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I finish up this podcast with Durs. I take a little bit of a weed edible. Shout out to Kiva Chocolates.
Boom.
And I go to the movie and I get a red ticket. This red ticket means you don't have to buy a ticket. It's free. You just go in, you show them that red ticket, and you go right through. Great.
Yep.
Then I see at the ArcLight concession stand, there is a red ticket line, meaning I don't need to wait with everybody else. There's a much shorter line straight to it. So I go to it and I order what I get. Usually I get a hot dog. I bring my own water, a bunch of crunch, and a popcorn. Okay?
Okay.
It's free.
Yep.
Okay? I've gone to screenings where they give you like a fountain drink and a popcorn, which I guess I'll take. I don't drink soda, but it's fun. You get to put a little straw and you wash down some popcorn. Great.
Yeah.
They had the full menu. It honestly, I'm able to have a sense of memory to this. I was high, but it blew my mind. When he gave me the bunch of crunch, you know what he said? How many do you want? What? I mean, how many do I want? All of them. But here was my thoughts. Not only am I a guest of yours, I asked to come. So my math was just one, and I got a small popcorn because I'm Kyle's guest. I don't need to be a schnurra here. So I go and I sit down. And what I do is I mix the bunch of crunch with the popcorn. And I found by getting the small popcorn, because I'm a member to all the theaters, so you always get the free upgrade to the popcorn. Normally the ratio of bunch of crunch to popcorn is now I got popcorn all over the place, and I'm looking for the bunch of crunch. It's loud, it's annoying. I just get a small popcorn with one box of bunch of crunch was the perfect size. So now that's what I get.
Got it.
I'm sitting there with my hot dog. The theater is packed with people who are coming to see your movie. I'm excited to see this. This is a theater that I'm in all the time. This is like a home court.
Right.
This isn't a small screening room. This is the ArcLight, motherfuckers.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, and I have all my snacks for free, about to watch a movie, and
hey, you're also about to watch a movie in a way that it'll never be seen again.
I guess. Why?
Because it's
some
on
different
Netflix.
edits?
Because it's on Netflix.
Oh, that's right. People aren't seeing this in theaters.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
It should be in theaters.
I know.
This is an action movie, man.
Yeah.
Now I'm about to give you you in the movie some compliments. So, instead of doing this at the end in an attempt to qualify everything I'm going to say, I first have to say I was very high. So this movie might be dreadful. Okay.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm just joking.
You bring me all the way out here and you say that?
My mouth was open the entire movie.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
My eyes are watering now. Sometimes when I give sincere compliments, I cry. But it's not a real cry. It's just like my eyes are watering. So
You got energy, man. Energy got to come out.
I'm a huge who isn't? I guess people aren't, but I come from the school of Sandler's one of the kings. Okay.
Oh yeah.
He did it all, and then he did some stuff that, like it or not like it, it doesn't matter. He won. Jordan won 6 rings. Come back for the Wizards. I'm gonna watch.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
man.
even the stuff that commercially doesn't hit, it works for me. It just works. I like Sandler. Right.
I too watch everything.
Yes.
I watch everything, and I laugh at everything. I might be overcritical at some, but I laugh at everything.
Because I talk about this with my buddy John. Sometimes we watch ironically or laugh ironically, but if it makes you feel good and laugh, a lot of people judge things in a way that gets in the way of their own happiness. And if I'm watching Grown Ups 2
Yes.
and I'm seeing this guy climb a rope just so he could show his butt crack, I know what it's like to be 10. This is funny. This isn't a good joke, but I'm laughing out loud because he knows how to execute it.
Well, yeah, and it's like it works. It's great. It's broad. It's
broad, and that's
universal.
okay.
It's like it is fine.
Yes. Everything doesn't have to be smart. It could be just fucking ridiculous.
Yes.
So the point I'm bringing up is, though, I know Sandler in all these different movies. I mean, Fahrenheit 9/11 is a masterpiece. Spanglish is not Fahrenheit 9/11. What's it called?
Rain over me. Rain
Rain
on
over
me.
me.
Rain over me.
So
Rain on me. Yes.
I'm watching Sandler in this movie now do something that this is one of the best. Like I said, that's why I'm qualifying the high thing, because maybe I'm being ridiculous here. This is one of the best Sandler performances I've ever seen.
I love it.
And more power to you for, I mean, you didn't, there's a script and there's, what everyone brings to it. It's a big beehive, but the performance that you got out of him, I mean, that's why I'm saying my mouth is open. There are jokes that he's hitting that aren't, I don't know that much. I've been working a little bit and I've worked on enough things to where I feel like I have a sophisticated enough palate to recognize what a script is without having read it. And I'm seeing things that I know aren't jokes that he's turning into jokes.
Oh, yeah.
That are just, it's a masterclass of comedic delivery.
Oh, yeah.
And for him to play an everyday man who is low status, who is still able to get that thing in there that you have to be a king of your craft to be able to play a character like that even.
Oh, yeah.
And you were telling me how you wanted him to be an everyday man and the mustache that you wanted him to have. And tell me about his wardrobe, because I love it. And our buddy Thomas, who you said you emulated. Will you tell me that story? Tell the podcast that story?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wanted both of them. I realized, so I read the script knowing it was Sandler and Aniston. And I was like, this is dope. This is great, And then I realized and I got the movie, and then I realized it was like going to be kind of tough to bring them down to the blue collar level. You know what I mean? Like, how do you normalize these giant stars? Because even when you see big movies and there's big stars, it's kind of like, yeah, this is big though, it feels all shiny and stuff. And I was like, and it was fun. Like, we were able to shoot it like in a more gritty way and normalize it, and their characters. And I mean, they were just kind of like, Sandler had the mustache during prep, and I was like, man, you got to keep that for the movie. You're playing a cop, like that's what's happening. And he was like, I don't know, I look so damn dirty in it and stuff. I'm like, you got to, man. He's like, I'm a scuzz. I'm like, but you're a great scuzz, dude. You look so real, like it looks so good. And he was like, okay, I'm doing it. Because I just he had like one red carpet where he like wore it for the Meyerowitz stories. Mm-hmm. But other than that, he doesn't wear a mustache all the time. And so I would send him that and be like, this is great, dude. This is Nick Spitz.
Man, so cool to be texting with him about mustaches, dude.
Yeah.
He's the king, dude.
He's a great guy, man. He's a wonderful performer, a great craftsman, and he really downplayed a lot in this movie. There's still your
What do you mean he downplayed?
Like all the jokes that he's making up and making the conversational bits work and being truth in comedy and like
right. He's not delivering jokes. The situations are being the bits.
And he was so, him and Jen, he was so good. Jen is something else too. She is a heavyweight.
Yeah, oh, big time.
Major heavyweight comedically. And like, because you start looking at Jen's career and it's like she's been paired with all of the comedians, like Ben Stiller.
She's
Vince
one of the
Vaughn.
greatest sitcom actresses of all time.
Amazing. Unbelievable. Her ability to make you laugh and just feel her charisma through the screen is something of just pure magic. And so when both of them get into the frame together and you do the 2-shot, you kind of do the master and then you get in there and start digging out the coverage and you're like, okay, I'm going to do the 2-shot now. And I put the lens up and it's great. And they're just standing shoulder to shoulder, commenting on stuff, while they're in this crazy movie. And I'm like, damn, together, they're incredible. Like together, they are more powerful than each of them are solo from a charisma coming through. So I never shot singles of them, really. I just kept them in the 2-shot because it was such a powerful shot and so funny, and the banter is real, and it's them that's what it's about. And I realized very early on when we were shooting that I needed to protect that 2-shot. That was what the movie was.
Being coming from television and having to move very, very fast, and also working with comedians who improvise a lot, and you knowing how to get coverage fast. Mm-hmm. What did that do to help you prepare for a movie like this?
It did one. I mean, I couldn't have done this movie without doing all of that preparation, because I mean, you can, but you got to have a good vibe on set. The vibe.
What does that mean?
Meaning, like, a lot of people they like to work long hours because it makes them feel like they're working harder. You know, so they'll work those 14, 16 hour
You're saying
days.
everybody on set wants the hours to be longer?
I'm saying some people don't do enough to stop that behavior in Hollywood, and they end up making a bad vibe all the way on set because the whole crew is like missing half of their Saturday morning because they're still working and sleeping. You know what I mean? So a lot of times you can forget about that stuff. And also when working with A-list celebrities in a really awesome environment, they want to work for a certain amount of time and then go have fun with their families in this great environment that we're in for once in a lifetime, and
Italy.
we're making a movie. And they have the chops to do that. So I had to have my own skills on high alert in order to get the day done as efficiently as possible, strike while the iron was hot with all my leads, you know, and get everything in the 8 to 10 hour window. And then I go grab some inserts or some wides or some other stuff at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day. But my ability to work efficiently, I think a lot of, and handle improv and force everyone to make the hard decisions. Like I like to have long rehearsals instead of just like coming in and saying stuff. And
Why
then-
do you like to have long rehearsals?
Because I like to hash it out.
So you improvise during the rehearsals and then you lock it down.
Yeah.
To be
I
blocked.
like to get it done so that we are all feeling good about it before we start to lock the cameras down.
Right.
Cameras down, because once the cameras get locked down on the dollies and on all the mechanical items and all the gear, you can't really move it that quick.
Does having a lot of Sandler and Aniston, having them be in two shots, make it easier for you and more and quicker, or do you still get the ones just for coverage?
I still.
And
It
by the way,
depends on the
I
scene.
don't remember what I was supposed to say, but for people that I feel like I have to explain, for people that aren't sure, when you're filming something, coverage is you get the two shot where both of them are in the same shot, and then the one shot is just Sandler's coverage, and then just Aniston's.
I think basically like I've never respected a two shot more. Of course I got some coverage, you know what I mean? But I've never respected and kept it in the two shot more than on this project because it was so valuable. It's like unbelievably entertaining.
So do you have to block for that? You have to change certain scenes. They have to be cheating a certain way, right? Do you have to then direct for this shot needs to be a two shot, so we have to move things around?
Sometimes, yeah, you kind of value it more and that becomes the one that you get, and then you start to get the other ones, afterwards. All the other shots and the style points that you need, for the movie. Because I'm also plugging a lot of style into this movie as well.
So much you did, dude. And I talked to you about this the day after. It's a murder mystery.
Yeah.
And the tone of it is very Clue murder mystery.
Yeah.
And these are big characters that have their big accents and they're billionaires and have their big wardrobes, and it's expensive and it's on a yacht. And it's so grounded because it's like these people on this boat, this rich family, are those people, but the world is not that.
Right.
So it's kind of like these people are as unusual as we think they are from the audience in the actual world. So it's not broad or slapstick. It's just these people are crazy in a way. And it's still believable because
they're
Sandler and
eccentric.
Aniston
Yeah.
and Sandler and Aniston are on the boat with them. And they're, like you said, you made them the regular Joes in such a good way. And we're seeing them respond to these people talking so, big and lavish. And it's just,
It's so
dude, it's
fun.
so funny.
I'm
Sandler's
excited.
so good in it,
man.
man. It's crazy. I've been telling a lot of people about this movie.
Good. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm so excited about it. Like, I really am just pumped on this coming out in like a weekend change.
This is a $100 million movie that you just directed with
You
some of the
gotta-
biggest movie stars out there. You're about to, you're about to be doing other things where nobody knows who you are that are huge.
Exactly. No, this is the first step into that realm, and it's cool.
You told me that that's where you want to be, doing big things and people not knowing who you are.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That would be perfect. if you're just doing big things that outshine, but they can't shine without me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
What's the next project? Are you allowed to talk about it? I know there's a couple of things you were telling me of maybe doing.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that world right now. I'm knocked into that maybe world at the moment.
Right.
I'm looking for some little things, like just gonna get on some commercials and hopefully
Make some cake.
make some cake. Got to, you know.
You're a daddy now.
I'm a daddy now.
Yeah.
I see the world a little different. I gotta start saving, you know what I mean? But I was gonna do a movie over at Universal, but it got shut down in the last minute, it's crazy, but it happens. It just happens.
Could you talk about it?
I don't need to.
Yeah.
You know.
All right.
But yeah, it went away. It was gonna be a dope project. Hopefully I still get to make it. And
I'm sorry
it's
to hear
just-
that, man.
Yeah, it's just still a little sour, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still a little bummer. But it's all good. I get it. I totally understand it, and I probably will make the movie at some point. So now I'm just kind of like, I don't know what the next one is, you know? I have two careers. I have a producer career and I have a director career now. And my director career is what I'm waiting on to find that big one, you know? And the producer career, I'm just grinding at my
And
my office.
you are grinding, man. I mean, you guys are doing weekly live stream ping pong tournaments.
Yeah.
You guys are making music videos.
Yeah.
You're producing content on a bigger level. You know, television pilots, and you guys are just throwing it at the wall, man. And I love that.
Yeah.
I love to see somebody doing a $100 million studio movie, and then doing live stream ping pong tournaments because they have time to create stuff.
Yeah.
It's so attractive, man.
Right on, right on. Yeah, I mean that's how I started. I gotta stay true to the roots. I can't stop staying busy. I'm a doer. I'm a filmmaker.
You also told me about this ping pong tournament before it came out, and now that it's blowing up, dude. I mean, this is one of the biggest ping pong tournaments in LA that's being live streamed out of Calabasas or wherever
Yeah.
the fuck you are.
Oh yeah.
But I was supposed to be doing this, and now it got to a point where you already lost the belt, so you want to have like a pre-match, like
Oh yeah. So right now, Steve-O is the current
Is Steve-O the
heavyweight-
champion?
He's the current heavyweight champion.
And before I could get to Steve-O, you said that I have to fight you for
That's right.
the sixth lead belt. Is that what it's at?
That's
Look
right.
at the camera and
That's
shout
right.
out the website.
I'm gonna start a sixth lead belt.
Say
Okay.
the6thlead.com.
You know the sixthlead.com? Well, I'm starting a belt for him.
And I have to win that before I could face whoever is.
Because here's the thing.
Does everybody have to do that before the title fight?
Well, here's the thing, man. This is what's so cool. I was like, you wanted to play. You're not playing for the heavyweight belt yet.
I'm the only person. Everybody who's come in has gone straight for the heavyweight belt, and I have to have this pre-title fight.
No. No, I don't think so. So you have to do an undercard versus me, and it's only fitting to call it the sixth lead belt because Carl Newacheck was sixth on the call sheet as well, my
I did
friend.
not know that.
Carl Newacheck.
So you know what it's like to
Sixth-
be a sixth lead.
This guy, sixth on the call sheet. You're looking at him,
Okay.
baby.
Okay.
You're looking at number 6 on the motherfucking call sheet. I pulled up an old
Who's
email
won?
to check.
Adam?
Blake.
Blake 1, 2.
Adam.
Blake, Adam, Durs,
Durs.
Griffin,
Jillian.
Jillian,
Griffin.
then you.
Then me.
Griffin is number 5.
Griffin's 5.
David Finn was number 5 on Undateable.
Well, see, this is like the type of inside Hollywood information that I want to know. And the only way we're ever going to find this out is if we start this belt.
So the only people that play in this to get a title fight are people that have been a sixth lead
Yes.
on a call sheet. I mean,
Yes.
who else? You know, that's really, yeah, that's funny.
That's what I'm saying. It's like that. You, of course, get first hack at it because you have the sixthlead.com.
Yeah.
So you have really made a name for it. So you could come after me first.
Sure. You ever watch The Sixth Lead?
I watched the first episode.
Man, you got to check it out. It's real good.
I love it. I love your work. I think
you haven't
I have
checked out the second episode.
I'm sure I've seen it. It's just been around
I'll
for a
email it to
long
you.
time. It's been around for a long
Still
time.
winning awards, dude.
Is it? You're still putting it in a fest?
No, but it was in a fest, and the last one it was in 2017, and then in 2018, whatever festival it was had a best of the previous year, and it won that one. So then it has a 2018 one. So I have like plaques and little things from this thing for 3 years from a web series I made in 2015.
It's amazing, yeah. So I have some gifts that I brought you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you want to get to them now? Because I still want to get a quick, because we're missing the segment of you living with Adam to
Oh my God,
being
right.
on one of the biggest cable shows of all time. So
Well, yeah, we're missing the key ingredient. Anders
Love.
home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, basically like Adam and I were living together. Blake was coming over and partying with us, and we were shooting some stuff, but really me and Adam started shooting stuff together. So we were doing little sketches. We kind of discovered YouTube, and then Adam was at Second City, Los Angeles, taking classes for sketches, and that's where he met Anders.
Mm-hmm.
And him and Durs were the funniest guys in the class. And I didn't know Durs. I just knew Adam was like going to write with his writing partner, this guy Anders. And so one time we had a party at our house, and we was like a triplex where we had like a bunch of people in the same. We would have like these big parties, and I got wasted. And those, I don't drink anymore. I'm 5
Don't even
years.
drink coffee anymore, man. Good on you.
No, I'm starting to shed a lot of stuff, but like I shed booze because I used to get very aggressive.
You're 5 years sober?
Yeah. Over five. Yeah. Huge. So that night I had already gotten aggressive with Divine. We fought each other because of some girl at the house or whatever. I can't remember. It was just so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But then this guy comes down the stairs, like my upstairs neighbors who I knew were like pushing him back into our house, and they were like, "This guy's got to go. He's got to get out of here." And I was on the couch, and I woke up. I'm like, "What? Get the fuck out of here!"
The talking about
Anders,
right? Because he's being rowdy.
Because he was being rowdy, like something was happening, and they were like, "You got to go," and he's like, "Make me leave." Like he got aggressive too,
Right.
or something. And so then they got aggressive and brought him down to our place, and I woke up from a drunken stupor, and I'm like, "What's going on? Get the fuck out of here!" And he's like, "No, make me!" And we start kind of fucking getting after it, like yelling at each other and whatnot. And he reaches on the top of the TV and grabs 2 DVDs.
Do you remember what they were?
It was Jamie Foxx. I know that. And I kind of thought it was Arrested Development.
Yes, it was Arrested Development.
Yeah. And I love Arrested Development. I had watched these DVDs like recently.
Yeah, Durs told me that he loaned Adam Arrested Development, and you watched so you could watch it.
Yeah.
Like you were watching this.
I was watching it.
Yeah.
It was like for me. And he grabbed them, and I was like, "You can't take those. Those are Adam's friend's DVDs. Get the fuck out." And he's like, "I'm Adam's friend." And I'm like, "What?"
Cut to 10 years later, you guys have done 7 seasons of Workaholics, and now you're on the new Arrested Development with him, you know? Were you on it too?
I was supposed to be Eric's part on that episode. I was supposed to be the one who hands off, like, there's like a little handoff or something that goes down.
Why didn't you do it?
I was working on Workaholics. I was such a workaholic on that show. Like I didn't have any time for anything else. I was prepping. I was making sure shit was going down.
So Eric Griffin shout out to Eric Griffin, whose handle is
at Eric Griffin.
He was great in your movie too, man. That's really
Dude, Griffin, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Griffin and Sandman. Open up the flick.
I've always thought Eric was funny. I've been friends with him for years.
Yeah.
In July of 2017, maybe July of 2018, I opened for him at Caroline's in New York on Broadway.
Oh, cool.
And it was the first time I watched him do like an hour set. I've seen him in LA do 15 minutes, around here.
Sure.
Watched him do that for a week and watched him hone that down. And he, beasted. He was so funny, and I've always liked him. But since then, I have a new appreciation of how funny that dude is, and his podcast is hysterical.
Yes.
I mean, he has a cheat with the way he looks and sounds with that potato head face and that mustache.
That's why we hired him initially on Workaholics.
And
it's like, look at this dude.
Yeah, look at him.
Look at him.
And he uses it perfect. He has such a strong point of view, and he just knows how to. He's so angry. He's actually a miserable person. You know, he has a kind heart, and I know he's loving, and we've had very loving conversations.
Yeah, but he has a lot of gripes.
He
has a lot of
You know what
gripes.
his favorite fruit is?
What?
Gripes.
Gripes.
Okay.
Gripes.
Straight out of the fridge, popping gripes in his mouth like they're raisins.
Yeah, dude.
And-
crazy.
I don't know if I've ever had a conversation with him that didn't open with, here we go. He's just always annoyed. I think his default blood is annoyed because it works for him. An annoyed comedy works for him. But man, he is so
Well, that goes
funny.
back to you communicating funny
Sure.
methods. That's
Yeah, you find a way that people respond to you in a way that is honest.
Yeah.
And his way is by going, this motherfucker, you know, whatever. But man, yeah, the movie opens with him and Sandler. And I just think that's so cool to see a movie directed by you, and you have Aniston and Sandler. Anyone wants to be in this movie. And you're like, I got the guy. I know the guy. You get Griffin to do it.
yeah, 100%.
That's just really cool.
I was trying to find, like, you know, this movie was so out of my regular world, like the world that I've been working in for the past decade with the guys and doing the TV show and then doing the action comedy. This one has elements of it, but it is definitely in another realm.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, man, I need some kind of grounding element. Like, where's the grounding element, you know, and who's going to be in it? Which one of my friends? Like, how's it going to work? I got to have that. That's crazy. And Eric ended up being the guy. And I mean, dude, Sandler had so much fun with that guy. He was
Cool.
always like, where's Jimmy? He doesn't know his name, but he knows his name is Jimmy in the movie. And on like one of the last days of shooting, it was so funny because Eric called Sandler out for like not ever watching his stand-up special, even though Sandler claimed he did in front of like this whole restaurant of extras and stuff because they were sitting at the table. And like, because Sandler watched clips of Eric,
Sure.
but maybe it's not from his full entire
like
special.
you watching The Sixth Lead. I get it.
This is the exact situation. That's why I'm telling the story, because the same thing happened, but Sandler chose to be like, I saw your special, whatever. And Eric's like, oh, really? What was I wearing? In front of this restaurant of like 40 people. And everybody's like, and Sandler's like, what was I wearing? What was I fucking And Eric's like, I was wearing a camo jacket. And Sandler's like, camo jacket! And then Eric just starts fucking being hella loud, like, Kyle!
Yeah, well, once you
Sandler-
get the laugh and you get the okay, once Sandler plays back, the door's open.
and then
It's like,
Kyle,
we're
he never
equals for a
watched
minute.
it. He never watched it. And I don't have the heart to tell him I never watched it either.
I did watch it, and it's good. I know. Sincerely, the Showtime one, it's good, man.
It was so funny though, man.
You offered him a part on Game Over Man, and he turned it down because he had to eat an asshole. Is that correct?
Yeah, he didn't want to do that. He was doing Dying Up Here at that point,
Right.
I think. So there was
He's
no
doing a drama.
way.
I can't eat asshole
He
on
wasn't
Netflix.
he wasn't going to eat an asshole. He was going to get his asshole eaten. He was going to be the guy that Utkarsh in the movie, the Bayawadi, who was played by Utkarsh, ate the butt.
All right, so I want to wrap this up real quick. You and Durs meet in a fight. You guys become buddies. You guys are making YouTube videos that was basically Workaholics before Workaholics. You were also making Wizard stuff. But getting into the Workaholics, tell me real quick that path of realizing this could be a show, deciding to shoot a pilot, making it a full pilot with the money that Comedy Central gave you like 50 G's or something. Anyway, tell me that story.
Yeah, it's all. You got it. You know, I mean, it was like we were just making content that made all of us laugh, basically. So we had a screening process where it was like, you know, we would pitch to each other. And if we liked it, we would keep it going. The
For
idea
you.
would keep going. Yeah, and we would be fleshing it out on a weekly basis. And once it was kind of ready enough to be like, oh, I kind of, because I was pretty much doing the lion's share of producing, directing, all the crew stuff. I was
And that's what they
handling.
wanted, right? That's your job. You're taking care of this. That's what you guys are used to.
Yeah, but they would also jump in and hold a boom every once in a while if they had to. You know what I mean? They would do it. But once it was like good enough and it was like, okay, I think I know where we're going to shoot this. I think I know how we're going to shoot this. I think I know I got all the pieces. Then we would take it and we would shoot it.
Who was living at that house?
It was primarily, it was Adam, Blake, myself. Durs would come over.
So that's the real house you guys lived at that you filmed in. And
Yeah,
didn't
and
Comedy
then-
Central pay your rent
Yeah.
so
yeah.
you could film there, but you were also living there at the same time?
Right. During season 1, we were. Yeah. Season 1, we were living there. We would shoot for, 12 hours.
So your
and-
set is your house. This is your real house that you guys are living in.
Yeah. We would wait for people to leave at night after we were done with work. And then we would wake up to trucks in our front yard.
When was the show hit? Was it hit at first season?
I think it was season 2 when it started really banging.
And is that when you noticed like, oh, I'm on something?
Season 2 was when it was really banging. It was like, I saw it. You saw it. It felt, because we would do Twitter, right? So that was when Twitter came out.
Uh-huh.
And so the big thing at that point was like live tweeting. So you'd tweet alongside hashtag Workaholics, hashtag this, hashtag that. So I remember not even watching the episodes on game day. It would be like just watching Twitter and just being like, oh, they're here right now. Oh, they're here right now. Because it was just like mountains of quotes. Because people would just, this is a weird time in history. People would just like watch TV and tweet. They still do that, I guess. But this was like the beginning of that.
Yeah,
Where it was
still,
like-
people still do that.
You're tweeting about the episode you're watching on live
Yeah.
on Twitter. So you're conversing there.
When we did Undateable, the third season, we did Undateable live. They wrote in bits with our characters being on our phone, so we would live tweet while the show was airing live. So
Right.
we'd be interacting with people messaging with us. I thought that was really fun.
That is really cool.
But
Yeah, that's
your
right.
fan base is also that younger demographic that was big into this new technology
Yeah.
and communication method that came out. And also your show's so quotable and there's so many quotes.
Yeah.
that people are putting those out there.
Yep.
And people, Adam, out of all my friends, is probably the one that has stopped the most. Not even necessarily the most famous, but just he's the most approachable as well. And people
Yeah.
will say, just quoting everything from the show, and he is good at it, man. He takes a picture with everybody. He stops. He laughs with everybody.
I mean, that's the thing that's like, that was what was kind of wild about our show, just speaking on how approachable everybody feels like they can just come up to us and talk, because I remember the beginning, people thought the show was actually a reality show, even though it was clearly scripted.
When did it come out?
Clearly.
2009?
2009. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess reality has probably came out around 5 years ago at that point. It was still kind of big and new.
People were still bending it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been bent and bent back up in its own asshole now. But like at that point, it was still being bent. And so people were confused as to whether or not we were a reality show or not.
And everybody had the real name, the first
Everybody
real
had
name.
their real name, yep. But we changed the last names.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were at the house that we were
Right.
living at. So it was, but really it's just an illustration of the downfall of Hollywood, where like you're fucking forced to shoot a sitcom in your own house because of how fucking expensive it is to get on a lot and how much people, Comedy Central at the time, is willing to pay. You know, they were not willing to pay enough for us to go build a set. They were not willing to pay enough for us to get a sound stage somewhere. They were willing to pay the bare minimum, and in order to maximize that production value, we had to shoot it in a house because that was the cheapest way to do it.
And you had that skill set of being efficient and doing videos in your garage and
Yeah. So why not just do it? Yeah, it wasn't foreign. It was
Right.
very simple to shoot at the house. So why not just do that? And they pay our rent, And so it's like, okay, at that point it becomes a means of survival because we were all just struggling to make ends meet at that time. It's crazy.
And then the show works, and your 10-year plan of directing editing,
Editing.
and now doing both of a feature. You've done 2 now.
Yep.
Game Over Man and Murder Mystery.
Yep.
Which again comes out on Netflix June 14th.
14.
I'll be putting this out a week from Monday, which people at home, and we filmed it today, whatever. But this will be out, a little bit over a week before the movie comes out.
Yeah.
So watch it. It's so good. It's so good. It's so
Thank
good,
you.
and it's so cool that you made that.
Thank you.
It's so cool that you made that, man.
Thanks, bro.
It's a movie. It's a movie.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
with
real
the big shots and the racing scenes and
yeah. Nobody takes swings like that with comedies anymore. It's hard to do that, People don't make that budget comedy.
yeah.
That's why Universal just shut this other project down, because it's like they can't.
It's a
make
big
money.
comedy.
They can't make money back.
So you think it works because Netflix at the moment is willing to put in a lot of money and
Yeah, Netflix is the best.
Netflix is awesome.
right now, Netflix is the best. Every time I go over there, I'm like, this place rules. This is like NASA in its heyday, man. Like, this is like,
You knew about NASA in its heyday, and you know how it is now.
as I feel like it. I
You
feel like I
NASA
know.
isn't NASA anymore.
I feel like I know NASA in its heyday is like Netflix right now.
Okay.
Like, just like science, technology, what they were, you add the art element to
Yeah.
it, but still science and technology, and then you have the social element and the art and all that at Netflix. And it's like unbelievable. It's just crazy what they're gonna do to put this out, and all the bases that you have to cover from like a PR standpoint.
Are you
And-
invested into Netflix?
No, not at all. I don't even have a fucking deal there.
No, man. I mean, like stocks.
No.
I've been in for a while.
You have?
I've been
You
in for a
got to be
while.
coming up on top right now.
I mean, listen. I'm staying in my 1-bedroom apartment, and I'm just day trading Bitcoin, Amazon, Netflix, Facebook, Google, and Apple, my friend. And I got to tell you, I need to borrow some money.
Oh shit!
No, man. It's good, man. Tech is good right now.
Tech is good.
It's like
is
NASA
good.
in its heyday, dude.
Can I give you these gifts that I brought
Hell
for you?
yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Show it to your camera as you give it to me, would you? So we could get a shot of it.
Okay. The first thing that I'm going to give you is
So disrespectful.
the first Fade Up, Fade Out, Bye Bye album. This is my album.
Which
we didn't
is-
even talk about my music, but this is it.
We played your video, which was
Oh
unbelievable.
yeah, right. Life is a TV show. I forgot we played that. So here you go.
Fade up, fade out, bye bye.
Yep, and those are dick fingers drawn by the one and only Johnny Ryan. It's just a genius project. It's actually kind of disgusting, but that's from back in the day. This is the follow-up album. It's a French album, French, English, Google translated.
Explain that to me, French, English, Google Translated. You told me about this once.
Yeah. That album is written in the style of French Cafe. And we wrote our lyrics and then plugged them into a Google translator and changed them to French.
And you sang whatever that said.
And then we sang, and then we would run it back into American and then back. So we kind of washed it back and forth. So it comes up pretty like.
Have you had any French people who speak French fluently listen to this and see if they understood?
Yeah, they understand it. A lot of people like it. It's kind of tight. I thought people would be upset about it because it's so bastardized, but like people dig. It's got a nice vibe.
Okay.
This is a poster for a movie that I made that's very little known called Mega Summer Hit, a slam dunkumentary. It's got an all-star cast.
Thomas Kellogg, who is your buddy at Wonk, who is hysterical, great singing voice. Love him.
Yes.
Ryan Max O'Melia. Don't know Ryan.
That's okay.
Kyle Newacheck.
Right here.
Czechoslovakian, yeah?
Yep. Used to
Blake
be that.
Anderson, Oliver Rayon, David Kellogg, Jillian Bell, Adam Devine, Anders Holmes, Kevin Eaton. Movie sounds like a great lineup, man.
So this is like a docu reality emulating a gray Hollywood movie that we made.
What's Gray Hollywood mean?
Gray Hollywood? It's kind of an extension of what we're talking about with with the whole like playing yourself. you know, like playing yourself, like Adam plays Adam. This is a art imitates life imitates art documentary.
Like the Sixth Lead. Shout out to the Sixth
Yeah,
Lead.
it's a lot like the Sixth Lead, episode 1.
Wait, episode 5 is called The Perfect Joke, dude. You got to get there, man.
I feel like I've seen it though.
You would remember. Trust me. It's like NASA, like 20 years after its heyday. Still impressive.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's been done.
Hell yeah. This is a little vinyl for you. This is the Wizards.
Purple Magic, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, this is huge. This is really rare
Why is this rare?
because we put it out with a record label a couple of years ago and I only have a few left.
Dude, I'll have to open it here and have you sign it.
Sure, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. And then last but not least, I thought I'd give you a graphic novel that my friend drew and made called Kairu Gaiden.
I'm so unsure of what it was called. The way you said it. Your friend gave this to you a week ago. Say, dude, any podcast you go on, will you do me a favor and plug this?
I'm plugging it.
It's called Kairu Gaiden, a frog tail. Dude, thank you. And you closed with this, huh?
Yeah.
You closed with a graphic novel that your friend made called Kairu Gaiden.
I think it's great. I mean, you being such like at Josh Wolf is the handle it's like Wolf 2112 or something
Me being
like that.
such a what? What makes you think that? By the way, I love graphic novels.
You being such a Turtles guy, him and I talk about this character as like a new version of like a Turtles, you know? Because it's like,
Frog.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like NASA 40 years after its heyday.
I know, man. They were really on the downfall at that point.
All right.
Downfall. Here, wait. Let me see that. Watch this. Oh, okay, what are you going to do? You're going to rip it off?
Yeah.
Well, check it out. Let me see that. Let me see it. Because you can do like this kind of thing.
Oh, where you could take it out and put it back in the plastic?
Yeah, where you keep the plastic
Right.
on. I'm just going to kind of heat it up for you.
Like how I would keep the boxes of my turtles even after I open them.
Yeah,
I still
exactly.
have the
I still got
cardboard.
them. I got them on the wall at my house. I should have brought some of those for you. I got those.
You have a good turtles collection?
I have a decent one.
I've got a good one.
Oh fuck!
You got the Technodrome?
Kind of worked. No, I don't. I used to. All my turtles, I had a great collection when I was a kid.
Flood.
No, car accident.
Are you okay?
They all got fucked up.
Really? All your turtles were in a car with you during an
Yeah,
accident?
and afterwards, me and my brother were like, "Fuck it." So we like took all of our toys and like broke them and like ripped arms off and started putting them all together and melting them and creating scenes of like death and destruction.
Jesus Christ.
It was sick.
Is that when you started becoming an atheist?
That was, yeah, you know, I was dealing with stuff.
Well, save it for the podcast.
You should be casting right now. Oh, I didn't realize you wanted to take that off.
What do you think I wanted to do?
Right. No, I get it now. I could sign the disc. I could sign the.
No, because you got to see the outside. Because the disc will only be showing when it's being played.
Okay.
And where are you? Which
I'm the
are
one
you?
lighting the blunt.
Yeah, right. You could sign right by there.
That's
dude.
old Toby.
What I want to do is I want to get all the Workaholics guys on here and have them sign that. And when it's done, I'm going to sell it.
Dude, this
For-
would be one of one at that point.
Yeah, but it's not just that it's all signed. It's the Take Your
Should I-
Shoes Off podcast version.
Should I sign it? Where should I sign it?
Dude, do whatever you want. You could personalize it. I'm not really selling this.
Should I sign it as Kyle Newacheck or
Yes.
as old Toby?
No. You sign it. That's Kyle.
Okay.
Listen, I love art, but you're here. You're my friend, and this is you right now giving this to me.
I'm going to say, love you, Rick.
Say it. Don't spray it, dude.
Bro, never spray.
Sometimes spray.
Never. Love you. How do you spell Rick?
R-I-C-K.
R-I-K-C? C-K?
R-I-C-K. The R-O-C-K. When Sandler and Billy Madison forgets the C in how to spell rock. Oh, right. The C is silent or something like that.
Yeah, dude. It's the best.
Love you, Rick. Thanks. Let's get a shot of that.
It's beautiful. Thank you for the bombas.
Yeah, man. I have this on autofocus, so maybe I'll have to just get an insert later. All right, man. Well, you've plugged all your Instagram account, all your friends' Instagram accounts in the graphic novels. But one more time to camera, where can we see you, my friend?
You can find me on Instagram at Kyle Newacheck. at Wonk Incorporated, at Fade Music Co., at Fade Up, Fade Out, Bye Bye.
Maybe just have a, you don't want to, you don't want to like overwhelm people. They have a lot to look up.
I know. I'm a deep well of creativity, you guys. I think that's what I'm trying to say out there.
DWOC.
I'm a D-Walk. I'm a D-Walk.
So, thank you for coming in, my friend.
Bro, rock and roll.
This is Rick Glassman signing off of Take Your Shoes Off podcast. And as always, make sure you, treat people good. Treat people well. Good. Treat people good.
Treat people how you want to be treated.
And if you don't want to be treated good,
still treat them good.
Yeah, that's why I say that takes priority.
Absolutely. No, you're right. You're right.
Also, make sure if you haven't yet, if you've been living in a bubble, go to the6lead.com, check that out, watch episodes 2 through 5, and send Kyle a DM. Tell him which one's your favorite. Maybe he'll check it out.
Please do. I will. I'll binge it.
And I'm sure I've already edited all of this out by now, but if I decide to keep this in, finally, make sure to check out Murder Mystery on Netflix, June 14th.
Scoot doo.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Woo!
Blabbity blue. Scoop